Here we are. Welcome, UTB Blogcast number 28. A smaller group tonight. We got Dave, Bartron, and Wayno. How's everybody doing?
I'm not as mad as you are.
Hey, I put on my happy pants for the blogcast, so.
Oh, really? What do those consist of?
I just started.
I don't want to know. Never mind.
Keep it off camera, please.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, do you want to show us your new toy? Do you still have it right there? Not the flashlight, but the other one.
This is going to be on the pillow next to me. This is called the Traxxas Aton, and it's like a 370 mil quadcopter or multi-rotor, or some people call it drone. Full GPS, return to home, geofencing, and it goes 50 freaking miles an hour. So that just showed up today at work, flew it for 5 minutes, and all I can say is, wow. What an awesome piece of gear. What's that, Wayno?
I said that one leaves mine for dead. I got mine during the week. It's a Cyma X5 SW.
Yeah, that's a beautiful unit, very similar to the Alias I have, and you are going to love that thing. And apparently, it does really, really, really well in the wind too. Very good design. That's been copied 1,000 times. That Cyma.
I haven't actually flown it outside yet, mainly just indoors. But I have noticed the camera's not connecting to any device over Wi-Fi. I've actually ordered a spare camera to come from China, so hopefully I can get that issue sorted out. But, flying it indoors, it actually handles quite well. I haven't tried any flips with it yet. I don't want to go smashing it into the roof or anything like that. But it's been a bit windy outside, so I'm just itching to get it outside when the wind dies down and give it a bit of a go. And I've also ordered a couple of the Cheerson CX10s that you've got, Brad. They look all right. So the kids wanted to have a fly of the Cyma, but I wouldn't let them. So I bought a couple of the little Cheerson CX10s for them to play with.
Yeah, good on you. And you get your Wi-Fi from China, huh?
Yeah, long distance.
I guess you're closer, though. You're a little closer to China than I am.
Yeah, not by much. It still takes forever to get here.
And moving closer.
Yeah.
Moving closer every year. In about 10 million years, you'll actually be touching.
And for those of you watching that don't know, I sort of infected the group with RC flight and quadcopters, and it seems to be getting around.
Yeah, we'll start a new site soon just for that.
Yeah, I think we should.
So
BlackBerry, how about that?
Yeah, they don't make quadcopters. Yeah.
Let's go off topic and talk about BlackBerry.
Yeah, let's
exactly.
give that a try. First things first, was it the Dutch police said, or Netherlands said that they cracked BlackBerry again?
Yeah. I swear to God,
they say it again because it's. Yeah,
they say it every year.
Exactly. That's just
They say the same stupid freaking thing every year, and they show the same old phones with the same whatever modification that nobody does anymore on it, and talk about it like it's new, and talk about attempting to manipulate stock or get some 10 minutes of fame or 1,000 hits on your site or whatever it is you think you're looking for. It's so old. It's sickening. It's laughable.
I'm pretty sure that it has to do with getting the criminals to stop using the BlackBerries. If I were a cop, I would be telling them and said, we can crack this, go public, whatever, so they don't use it, even if they can't. If it's a device they cannot crack, that police cannot crack, which is the case of the BlackBerry, tell them, yeah, we can crack it. Nobody's message is safe. Tell them that so they don't use it. And for devices that the police can crack, you say do the opposite. You say, we can't crack this. We have to meet with Tim Cook to get him to give us the keys because we just cannot crack the iPhone. Okay, sure, teenagers in her basement can, but not us. Not us. We can't.
So turns a crack into a crock.
We really hope criminals aren't using iPhones because we can't crack that.
Yeah.
Criminals are going to be dumb enough to start using it, and the police are going to be sitting there. Check these idiots.
Yeah.
They bought it. They took the bait. That's my guess. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Well, that's what we touched on, or what Dave and Chap actually touched on last week was, the what was the story where it was the Pakistan story where it makes huge news, all this about BlackBerry, they want access and blah blah blah, and yet there's no news about them trying to get access from the iPhone. There's no news about them trying to get Android access.
That's true.
You think that out, it's like there's a reason for that.
Right. It's because it's already been there, done that. Boring.
Exactly.
Next. Yeah. All those cops dropping out of their Jeeps.
That's the important thing to remember. These are old phones, or they're EOL phones, first of all, not being supported any longer. But even with that, there's no real information as to what they're doing or how they're doing it. They're just kind of saying, hey, look, we did it. And, it's like, don't you need to be able to duplicate that to show that it works?
Well, keep in mind, the old phones are used in, still pretty popular in developing nations who can't afford, not that many people can afford the iPhone. They get themselves in debt for the iPhone. But, developing countries, it's still popular. Now, the issue, when I saw that, first thing came to my mind was obviously what I just mentioned, and the other thing is like, this isn't a big deal. I know it can't be cracked, certainly not by the police, anyways. The issue is the damage it does to BlackBerry's reputation. You get corporations and other people looking and say, whoa, we were going to buy this. Thinking it can't be cracked, and now here we have, local police cracking it. That's my only concern. Is will it affect BlackBerry's reputation? That's pretty much it. Otherwise, no. I just view it as bogus.
Yeah, well, it is bogus, and it's not even a stock BlackBerry, for crying out loud. It's been modified.
Evidence either.
Okay.
I don't think they had any proof. It was just hearsay. And from what I understand, they supposedly had to have their hands on the device.
Yes.
It wasn't hacked. It wasn't hacked remotely.
That's true.
No. Yeah, that's right. You have to have complete physical access to it. It has to have this modification already done to it. They've figured out something that doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. Yeah. Can't touch me. Da, 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 da. No?
But then that led to another case of BlackBerry coming out and, basically setting the record straight again, which is something else that BlackBerry does now under Chin that they didn't do before. Right. That I love.
Oh, I love it too. I love them calling people out and going, no, you got it all wrong. Here's the truth. Now go away and lay down next to your bowl.
But remember how much flack we got for kind of taking that attitude? Well, when we started up anyway, and still doing it now. But how much flack we took because we weren't being polite. What's that, Dave?
You mean the flack stopped? When I didn't see the memo.
I think it just got a little quieter, or maybe maybe people are realizing that, you know, BlackBerry's doing it, we're doing it. You know, they should be doing it too.
Right. Too funny. No, but that's a good thing. I agree with you completely. Love that inside BlackBerry thing. They get to tell the truth whenever they want. It's easy. It's factual. And it's timely, too.
Especially the fact check, where you take the document, circle it, and that's just fantastic.
I love that.
With a big red pointer going, wrong! Yeah, excellent.
And then they come back, you know, a year later and buy the company, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right.
They don't know what they're doing.
That's a really good idea. Or something.
Oh, what's next? I lost track here.
Future devices. Chen's comments. Going to be
There you
releasing
go.
2 new devices in 2016, and I go into one site that says they're going to be releasing 2 Android phones. I don't know how they got that from 2 devices, but for sure, I mean, we've been talking that they're going to release a cheaper Android phone. The question mark was, what's the other one's going to be?
Well, that's right. He did say that they're going to be releasing 2 devices based on the Android operating system this year.
Okay.
And then he, you know, it's like he said devices, and then he went on to talk about the phone. I keep wondering if we're not going to see a BlackBerry Android tablet this year. You know, because we're going to get, we've got the Priv, we've got the slider, and then we're going to get a lower cost Android BlackBerry phone, which if the renders are right, it's going to be like a candy bar type phone. What next after that? I mean, do you think they would go with a full touch phone, or do you think they would go with a tablet? What do you think would be more real?
Tablet.
I'd
Really?
still like to see BlackBerry 10 tablet as a replacement for the Play.
What we'd like to see
so
and
would
what
I,
we're going to
but-
see this year are 2 entirely different things.
Yeah. I'm going to take a different tack and suggest that it won't be a tablet. One reason is that the low to mid-range type of tablet is, declining in sales, I think. The upper echelon of tablets, I think, is starting to increase thanks to the Surface line. So my prediction or guess, and I'll be more than happy to be wrong, but whatever, would be a Passport-style device running Android.
What about a BlackBerry drone?
Yeah, right.
You know, I've seen some people talking about an Android Passport. I'm not really sure, because I mean, I'm looking at it from the line of what kind of market is out there for it, right? And I don't see a lot of Android users getting that excited over a Passport type device. That's more a BlackBerry user. You know, those of us that have been using it, and how many of us are going to want to jump from a BlackBerry 10 Passport to an Android Passport? I can't imagine a lot of us would.
How happier would you be with your Priv if it had a Passport keyboard on it?
1,000 times happier, but I also love my Passport 1,000 times more than I do my Priv.
Yeah, I know you want to treat the Priv like spaghetti and see if it sticks to a wall, but that's besides the point.
That's the day.
See, I'm not so sure an Android Passport makes sense, because the main reason for using Android is consumer apps. And the form factor of the Passport is not really what the consumer wants. They want to take it, put it in their pocket, flip it out, use it with one hand. That's what people want a phone for. So I'm not so sure that would work. Putting consumer apps on a form factor that I don't think, I mean, even Chen said that when they released the Passport. He said it's not a mass market device. So I'm not so sure why, if it makes sense to put basically the most popular platform software and consumer apps on it. I don't know.
But then, look at a tablet though, as far as like from an enterprise standpoint. You know, you harden an Android tablet and give them something that's secure, that's been proven secure so far with the Priv. I mean, the form factor I could see being something that enterprise would dive on a secure tablet.
Oh,
Think
definitely.
of like hospitals and.
Oh, I definitely agree on the tablet. I think they will release. They'll release a candy bar Android and a tablet. I mean, they've already hardened the Samsung. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year.
With the SecuSmart tablet, but how many?
SecuSmart, they hardened it, but it was like what, $3,000 or something like that.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking something I'm thinking they'll come out with something cheaper, But yeah, I for enterprise basically. But I think they will. I think they will. They're going to take lessons they learned from the Priv, apply to a tablet, that makes sense. But like Dave was saying, it'd have to be on the high end, because the cheap, the low end is, well, that's rotting away.
It is.
Yeah, you can run out and buy a Android tablet for $40 right now.
Oh, jeez. It'd have to be the laptop replacement type, like the Surface.
Yeah, that's a Frisbee with an operating system on it, and not a very good one.
Doesn't fly as far as your drone, does it, Dave?
No. Won't come back anyway, for more than one reason.
Unless he hits someone.
Even the renders of the is it the Vienna, the new Android one, is very similar looking to the Passport. I saw a picture of it compared to, or sitting next to a Priv, and it is similar in size to the Passport from what I could gather.
The only render I saw, it was a long screen, a rectangle screen with a fixed keyboard on the bottom.
Yeah, but
that to me is ridiculous.
The screen was nowhere near the size of the Priv. It was a lot
No, it was a shorter screen to. Which I mean,
but more like a 4x5. More like a 4x5 instead of 16:9 type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. That because when that render came out is when Blackjack decided to show his render of the Silver Edition Classic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was about the same size, which was 4.5, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the candy bar, because if you think about it, so we take a 16:9 screen and you put a keyboard on the bottom. That's just awkward.
Yeah.
That's just awkward. So that means you're gonna have to deal with a 4:3 or a square screen. But the square screen is really mostly for comms, reading, and that. You know, you're not gonna play a game. Is there that? But if you're not really into gaming and those kind of things, you're just gonna be reading and communications. Do you really need Android? Why don't you just go to BlackBerry 10, which is the best in that? You know what? That's why I'm not so sure about that. I mean, maybe we'll do a 4:3 this way, and then put a keyboard on the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think,
which is rare.
I don't know. I just want my BlackBerry 10 back. I've been having some serious struggles with my Priv this week. No problems with it. You know, I mean, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's just I've spent a few days where I've been trying to make it my primary phone, and it's not going too well. It's really not. I keep running back to my Passport.
Poor old Brad. The Priv, you know, it leaves the cap off the toothpaste. It doesn't leave the seat up on the toilet. He's getting mad at it.
I want to love this phone. It's a sexy phone. The hardware is amazing. I really like the screen size, even though I was one of these people that fiercely defended the square screen and still love the square screen. But I mean the physical phone is amazing.
Yeah.
But using it hurts.
It just needs BB10.
That's all it needs. That's all it needs. Someone should have thought about that somewhere along the line.
Yeah, well, 8,000 or I don't know, 20 podcasts ago or something.
Yeah.
When the same three people were watching, I think we were dreaming that a new device would come out and it would either you'd have your choice of OS to load on it, or maybe it would be dual boot, or they would come out with the exact same thing with, this one has BB10 and that one has Android on it.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. And so here we are at Blogcast 28, and it's not true. Just saying. Yeah.
Let's say something extremely positive about it, though. When did it come out?
November 9th?
6th or something.
Yeah, something.
Still not rooted.
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't allowed to bring that up anymore.
Well, that's been the big thing, and people can. I know that there's a bounty going on over at XDA. People are trying to root it, and that was our big fear, was that, okay, this thing's going to come out, it's going to be rooted because Android is just rooted, and people are going to say BlackBerry security is tossed. But look how long this phone has been out now, still hasn't been rooted. I mean, honestly, at this point, it could be rooted tomorrow, and it would still be the most secure Android phone out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, show me another device that's given people like XDA one of these for this long. Show me another one.
Exactly.
I don't think so. No, not happening.
It's hilarious to me that, quote, the dying company BlackBerry was able to do something that, Google, with more money than God, hasn't been able to do with their own operating system.
I think they just don't care.
They don't.
They don't care. Apple doesn't care. They don't care. They're consumer electronics people, and that wasn't when they had this bright idea. That was way down the list, or not even on the freaking list until people started bringing it up. They don't care. Google's whole thing is just how to sell your information to some ass. And iPhone's thing is just pump out as many of these things as you can and sell some apps, because it doesn't do dick without them. And who cares about the dropout Jeeps and the NSAs and nobody cares. They're all about the commercials on TV. They don't care about how secure the device is. Couldn't care less. I don't care what Tim Cook says. He's full of crap.
Can I talk about a few things that's scaring me with Android?
I don't know. It depends.
Well, okay.
Are you going to cry or?
Near the end of my shift at work in real life, I've been getting these little notifications that tell me how far it is for me to get home. Now, I've never put my home location in here. I've never even used the GPS in here. But it now knows where I live, and it knows how far it is for me to get there. And then last night, it told me where my car was parked. These things just kind of pop up on their own. It's not part of an app. You click on it, and it's just, it's the lollipop little notification. And so it's that little purple bubble, says lollipop, and it's telling me stuff that it's like, why do you know this? And I'm not a heavy Google user. I mean, I've got Gmail, I got a few apps on here, but I don't even have like social media apps. I just have, you know, typical stuff. I've got Fitbit. I've got.
Yeah, but you
Appetite.
have been using Google Maps.
Well, not just that, but you just have to look at the time of where you are at a certain time of day. You know, look at the time of day and where you are. So from 6 o'clock till at night in the evening till 6 or 7 in the morning, you're at a certain location, and that's presumably your home.
Yeah, you've been using Google Maps.
I haven't. I've been using
Well, you
BlackBerry.
don't have to. It just has to look at your GPS. You don't even have to have mapping software installed. Android, you just need software that'll look at your GPS and check the time.
Okay, well, look, let's say this. I've had mine for longer than Brad, and I have nothing of that happening to me. Nothing.
Are you serious?
Nothing. I don't use Google Maps. I wrote a blog about it. I don't use anything except YouTube. I don't use Gmail. The only reason I use Gmail is so that you can send me invites to this.
Yeah.
That's it. So Hangouts. My phone has no idea where I am, no idea where I went. I haven't signed into Google Maps. Nothing. And I do not get those notifications. I don't use Google Maps at all. I
don't use Google Maps either. Do you have your location services on though? Because I've got air messages on here, so I do have my location.
Well, of course I do. I have mapping software. I've got 3 different apps I'm trying out for mapping, and I've used live navigation on with maps on the stored on the machine, not live. So yes, I have a fully functioning telephone without Google services, except for YouTube. I haven't even signed into Hangouts on that phone. Haven't tried it. So I use YouTube. I have a Gmail account that I use for nothing. And that's it for me, Google-wise. I don't use Google as a search engine.
No.
Nothing. And this is exactly what one of my buddies at the office came to me one morning and said, "Holy, Sunday morning, my phone told me that I better leave now, earlier than I normally do, to pick my friend up on the way to church. I better leave now instead of 10 minutes from now because the traffic sucks. So you better go now." And on Monday morning, he came to me and said, "This is twisted. I think I'm done. I'm done." And he bought a Z30. So you signed into something that started sucking up something, and then nothing like that has happened to me at all. Nothing.
I'm not happy about it, and I'm not like a big app guy, you know. I've got very few actually.
I hate that creepy kind of crap.
I do too.
I can tell. I don't know what you signed into, but something.
Okay. Oh.
Let's all have a moment of silence for.
I know. For Brad's privacy. The loss of Brad's privacy.
It's definitely a worry, though, isn't it?
What's that, Wayne?
I said it's definitely a worry, though.
Well,
it is.
I didn't ask for that. I don't want that. You know what I mean? And it's buried in your terms of service somewhere. You know, that, like, you know, there's a cure for cancer in one of them somewhere. But nobody ever reads it. Nobody ever cares. And it's buried in there that crap can happen. And I hate that stuff. When I bought my Priv, I drove home thinking about stuff like that. The story that my buddy at work told me. You know, it's just like, Horrifying, but that's the name of the tune. You know, you use Google as a search engine, you're giving away your search terms. You use Google now, hey Google now, you know, I don't use that either. I don't want my voice searches on servers, that metadata that gets sold. I don't want that.
But I use Google as the search engine on my passport. It doesn't bring up notifications that it's tracking me like that.
No, it can't, because you don't have Google services. It can't. It's impossible. You need to have Google services in order for that shit to happen.
Which
Because
is
the
why
Play Store is
so many of us
so
demanded
Google's
for.
part of that.
What's that, Wayne?
I said the Play Store's installed, but isn't Google services part of that?
Yes, it is. But you don't have full Google services, whether you think you do or not. You don't. Not on your BlackBerry 10 device. No, you've got a cut down version of it.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhat similar to what I've sort of made for myself by ignoring everything possible that has to do with their tentacles.
Yeah, you're just getting the Android runtime, not Google services. That's different.
Right.
So you would have had to have signed in with a Google account when you got your proof.
The only thing I signed into was Google Play, and I used, of course, my Gmail address, the same one I use, to use Snap on my BB10 devices, and that is the only thing I've signed into Google-wise. Period. So it knows that this app and that app will or won't work on the devices that I've signed in with. It knows that I have 4 devices, and this app works on them all, and that app won't work on all of them, and whatnot. That much it knows. But again, I don't get those creepy things like my buddy at work or what Brad just said. No.
I think if I got that, I'd throw it against the wall.
Well, seriously, yeah, I'm going to dip it in a vat of acid. I hate that crap.
Question though, if your passport suddenly popped up and told you that, what would you think?
Security wipe, get rid of Google.
Yeah, where's my vat of acid?
Yeah.
I understand people thinking this is convenient, this is awesome, my smartphone's really smart, it's great.
Yeah.
My issue is that I really do put my trust in certain companies, and I refuse to put trust in other companies, and Google is not a company that I trust. Facebook's not a company that I trust. I trust
me
BlackBerry. I trust Fitbit, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain companies that just, and I can't even really give a reason why I trust some over others. In some cases, I can give reasons why I don't trust some, like, Apple, because they're the devil. But,
God, they're fun to poke.
I could, if BlackBerry suddenly popped up with this stuff, I admit, I would probably think it was cool. My Google-powered Android BlackBerry Priv popping up with it, I'm uncomfortable with that.
Well, okay, let's say this then. Is your trust based on the fact that if a BlackBerry 10 device did that and said, hey, man, you need to leave 10 minutes early to pick up your friend before you go to blah, 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 because the traffic sucks, and I'm just saying, I'm warning you here, is your faith based on the fact that you think that they wouldn't be selling your overall and general information that they've gathered, because that's how they know that. This is Brad's habit. Every frickin' Saturday night he goes down to the bar and gets and meets some friends. And, and so it discovers these patterns, right? And so because of this data or metadata, you know, they can provide these services. So you're saying that if that happened to you in a BB10 device, you'd still trust it because you're thinking that maybe they don't sell that kind of information to people, and the next time you go onto your BB10 browser and search for something, you're not seeing ads for that bar you always go to and get shit. You know, meet your friends.
That's exactly it, Dave. Like, I mean, I can understand the convenience and the coolness of some of these little options, but you know, again, BlackBerry is all concerned about your privacy and your security, and I could see them having this information to make things more convenient for me, just like how they've made their operating system more convenient for me. And I know that that's their purpose behind it, and that's where it's going to stop. I know with Google, they're collecting that information for advertising purposes to trade and sell this information. And hey, with this information, we can provide something convenient to the customer. You know, it really comes down to what the motivation is behind it. And
yeah, their motivation is that you're the product, and we find ways of selling you more stuff, and you know, that's what they are. They're just one huge, massive advertising thing, juggernaut, and not too concerned about, you know, the privacy aspect of the product that they're putting out there. BlackBerry's whole thing is, well, we started with the privacy and the security aspect of these things because we came from an enterprise and a corporate background, and who the hell likes having their shit leaked, you know, from a corporate and enterprise perspective. And so they never even really thought about collecting all of your data and selling it to somebody because it's just wrong. That's not what they're in business for. They're in business to keep things private. The other companies are absolutely the 180-degree opposite of that. And now they get called up, you know, onto the carpet and go, oh yeah, well, you know, we really care about your we really care about your security, and we encrypt everything, even though we give it away whenever we want, and we store your fingerprints on it, you know, whatever. But look over here. You know, it's just the way it is. Two or three companies grew up in completely different ways, but now they all live in the same space, and each one has something that they have to answer for or answer to. You know, this guy, you know, grew up this way, BlackBerry, and he ends up not having as many apps as the other guys. The other guys grew up, and now they're having to answer for why they suck from a securities perspective in the enterprise space, or for even in a personal space.
So what does that say here? Wayno. So with what we're talking about right now, with BlackBerry bringing out an Android phone, and BlackBerry's always been concerned about our privacy, and Android is obviously not concerned whatsoever. What does that say, having, you know, an Android-powered BlackBerry that suddenly has our information going to Google?
Yeah, I'm not impressed about it. I think, you know, for that reason is why I want to stick with BB10. Just having Google knowing everything you're doing, every move you make, is pretty scary. I really want to get the Priv. I've seen the phone in person through our hands-on with BlackBerry Australia, and it's a beautiful device. Like you say, Brad, it really is a sexy bit of hardware, but to use it as a daily driver and have that information being tracked by Google is pretty scary. So for that reason, I think even if I do end up getting the device, which I most likely will, I will stick with the Passport. It's just ultra secure. I can trust it, and it does everything that I need it to do. but having that information being tracked by Google is part of the reason I hate Android.
Hate's a strong word, Wayne.
Well, that's how I feel about it, and you know, I don't know whether the upgrade to Marshmallow is going to make a difference to that. I would say with Google using that as their business model, I can't see them restricting that in any way.
No. Well, it's the apps. If you sign into their apps and you get in with what they're doing, then that is the name of that tune. I don't care if it's Lollipop or Marshmallow or whatever the hell is next, Nougat, whatever the heck it is. That's not going to change. And I don't think BlackBerry went into this with their eyes closed. That's not the deal. They went into this thing knowing that if you bought into that kind of stuff, then that's what's going on with you, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you can live your life on this phone without buying into 100% of that Google attitude, Google-tude, and use corporate apps, which I'm doing, and they run a little bit better than they do on my BB10 devices. They run a little bit faster, and you can do those things and opt out of, the Alphabet machine or the Google machine. You can do that in corporate. And they make no mistake. I don't think they. It's a side benefit that there's more consumers that want this phone now. I think they're doing it. They did it like they've been doing a lot of things to get deeper in and entwine themselves deeper into more enterprise customers. That's what they said 2 years ago. It's still true today. The fact that there's a lot of consumers that want this phone is a side benefit.
Going back to Wayno.
Sorry.
Going back to what you said, Wayno, on Marshmallow, that being able to turn off certain things on the apps will help with third-party apps. You know, there's more people than just Google dealing in our information, and Marshmallow will make it to where we can shut down those others.
That's
it's not going to stop Google. You know, it's not going to stop their ingrown apps.
No. You might be able to go into Google Apps and stop them from doing this and that, but what's the point in stopping Google Maps from looking at your location?
What I'd like to see too is DTEC monitoring more of what Google is tracking on the device and reporting on that. I don't think, from what I hear, there's any information being fed back from DTEC as to what Google are actually doing or tracking on the device.
And I'm sure that's part of the deal. But see, this is what I was trying to get to, is because I'm unhappy about it. You know, I'm unhappy that this information's being collected and given to Google. But I've also heard
you this week, Brad.
What's that?
Is that what's upsetting you this week?
Nah, there's shit. There's just shit. But no, because what I'm afraid this conversation is going to lead to is people being like, "Oh, look, BlackBerry's given up the privacy." No, they haven't. You know, it's like their operating system is still private. Their operating system is not giving this stuff away. But people wanted Android, and part of having Android is giving away some of this stuff. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, the information that's being shared with Google is just part of the deal. You're making a deal with the devil to be able to crush candy or whatever app of the week it is that you're into. That's your deal with the devil. What is not part of your deal is the malware and the viruses and all this stuff coming in. And that's what BlackBerry is trying to ensure doesn't infect priv users. You know,
I don't think it was so much people wanted Android. I think it was more they wanted the apps, and they just couldn't get them through BlackBerry.
I won't say that, Wayne. I'll say that they wanted Android, and I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about BlackBerry 10 users, because we are BlackBerry 10 users. And, you know, there may have been an app here or there that we wanted, but we could have easily went and spent a lot less money and got a cheap Android phone that had all those apps. No, we chose to get a BlackBerry 10 phone. You in Australia, I know what you went through to get your phone. Here in the U.S., I know what I went through to get my phone. Dave up there and Bartron, you guys have it too easy. You guys can't complain.
I just went to the website, ordered it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I can't complain, but sometimes I still do.
But I mean, we chose to do this certain thing, but there wasn't enough of us to keep BlackBerry going. So BlackBerry has given the public what they wanted, and the public decided that this information going to Google was okay a long time ago.
Yeah, and I think when you say public, I'd put the emphasis on enterprise and corporate, because how many times do you think a BlackBerry sales rep went to visit his customers and the customers went, dude, I can't run Microsoft Mobile on here. Dude, I need OneNote. Dude, I need this or that or the other thing that isn't native, and I need it. I need to run it. I need it to run my company. You know, Candy Crush. Kiss my grits. Who cares about that crap? But I need these other tools to make my enterprise run better. How many times do you think they heard that? More than once.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So and again, I seriously think that that's sort of where it came from, because that's what their legacy is. That's what they said they were going to concentrate on when Chen showed up. And he went on a tour, man. He got on a plane and he started visiting people, and I'll bet you he heard that 1,000 times. I need this, I need that, I need that, I need this. Well, guess where it is?
Shall we change gears to a happy story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
One of our own bloggers, Stereotactic, better known by us as Abby. Abhishek is his name. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, since seeing as how we just write to each other in BBM all the time. He wrote an amazing post a week or so ago. He's an oncologist in India, and he wrote a post about how he used his phone in some pretty extraordinary ways to basically help save a patient's life. Great post, loved it. Loved it even more when John Chen referred to it in his last blog post on Inside BlackBerry, and loved it all over again last night when we saw that Abby was profiled by Inside BlackBerry. That's some good stuff.
Man, I was absolutely blown away. Just the way Abby told the story. And by the way, he's in our groups. We talk to him all the time. He's one of the nicest and funniest guys you'd ever want to talk to, or I was going to say meet, but it feels like you've met him. But anyway, he's just a really good, down-home, nice guy. And the way he put this story together, and the way he rolled through it from the start of his day to the end of that day, telling this story just blew me away. I mean, I had to shake my head and wondered how I ever, I should go smash my keyboard and not write anything anymore. And then the thing, to use a tired term, kind of went viral. And got us, I don't even know how many hits it got us. Do you know how many hits it got us, Brad? It was ridiculous.
I'm not real sure, to be honest.
It was in the multiple thousands. It was ridiculous. It was like a spike, the spike of spikes kind of thing in our hitting our website. And then, like you say, to see it get picked up and repeated and then showcased. And there were some naysayers out there, I gotta say. There's people calling us full of it.
I was going to say that for the end of it.
Yeah, well, whatever. You can do that. I'm just saying that that's what happened. But and then to have it completely validated is well, it's a feather in Abby's cap, especially, and it's a feather in our cap, kind of thing. It's like, thank you, thank you very much. Very impressive. Way to go, man. Cheers.
Cheers. We
Cheers.
last week when I was speaking, we had Roy here, and we were talking about the pretty nasty argument that I had got into in the group that both me and Roy are in. That was part of the argument. It was that was a pretty.
I'm not in that group, so.
Yeah, but there was trying to come up with a nice term for him. There was a guy that decided to say that post was bullshit. He literally said that's bullshit, and he was surprised that John Chen would have referred to it, and just basically trashing UTB as he's done for the last 2 years, ever since he was booted from our original BlackBerry group for being an asshole. And so I loved it. I loved to see that, his reason for why it was bullshit was because Abby used his screen name. And there's quite a few of us in our group that don't really use our real names. There's quite a few of us in our group and quite a few of our bloggers that have positions that they just shouldn't be having their real name out there. So we've got screen names,
Some even do that on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So it's understandable. I have no problem with people using their screen names, but at the same time, we don't write bullshit. Now, obviously, Abby was okay with letting BlackBerry know his real name and show pictures of himself. Can't say I blame him for that. It was amazing. But yeah, completely validated. I made sure last night, as soon as I saw the post, that I went and dropped that link in that group, and that jerk hasn't had a single thing to say in that group since then. So hey, good job, Abby. Not only for writing an amazing post that obviously got read and enjoyed by John Chen, and not only getting profiled by Inside BlackBerry, but also giving me a way to fly the "you're number one" finger to somebody in a group that pissed me off a week ago.
Yeah,
thanks,
I think
buddy.
he's some kind of carnal jockey or something. Watch Abby get picked up by Nant Health or something. Wow. Come on, baby. Make it happen.
I tried to get Abby to come on tonight, but when I asked him, he was just getting into the hospital to, go save lives. I guess that was a little more important than the blogcast tonight.
Yeah. Come on, man. To hell with everybody else. Get on the podcast. Or not.
You know, that was such a good post. It was shared everywhere. It was all over Twitter, all over BBM channels. It was everywhere. It was well written.
It just blew up.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done.
You know what's amazing about that post is I think every one of us BlackBerry 10 users that read it understands that that's totally possible. You know, I mean, it's like I could do that with my phone, and I know how to do that with my phone. We may not know how to save somebody's life. Obviously, I don't. If I tried, the person wouldn't have even made it past my first BBM. But just knowing that everything that he did with his phone, all of our phones are capable of that. And we're able to, you know, what I do with my phone is much less important than what Abby does with his phone. But we all use the same processes, and we can all do that. I think that's what struck a chord with everybody. Is it's like this is not a superhero phone. This is my phone. You know.
Yeah. Guess what? All of us can walk and chew gum. No problem.
I think the fact too that he just highlighted all of the features, or a lot of the features of the phone, and what it is actually capable of, made it such a good article.
Yeah, and of course, Wayno, you're absolutely right, and you know the naysayers are going to poke holes in it because they don't get it, or they don't even believe it, or never experienced it, and they just go, oh, bullshit, you know, you can't do that. Well, yeah, you can't do that. You're right, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But anyone with a BB10 device can do that. That's the point, you moron.
If you recall, I remember Abby speaking about that in the chit chat group, kind of after the fact, and it was kind of like, you know, he didn't go nearly into the detail he did in his post, but it was like he was shocked after the fact of, I did this with my phone, I did this with my phone, I did this with my phone, and
then the light bulb goes on.
It's like click. It's like, yeah, this is amazing what I was actually able to do, but we know that when he was doing it, that wasn't at the top of his thoughts. He was just following his workflow.
I know. A guy's sitting on his train, on his way to work, everybody else is lights out on their access, and he's still working away.
Right.
Just that in and of itself is telling. Amazing. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you. Anything else, guys? Anything struggling to get out?
I don't know. I didn't do my homework, so last weekend we promised a bunch of Apple car jokes, but I don't have any.
Oh, geez, I totally forgot about that. But that's not the only homework you didn't do. But yeah, I forgot about the Apple car joke.
Yeah, I know that you're mad at me. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, actually, I got an idea for one for a while. I just got to get.
I mean, really, does this face say it all?
No, I'll say it real quick. We have something new planned. Call it a new series, but something new planned. The plan is to have it posted and out there tomorrow, but I will say that Erica, who typically blogs on UTB Geek and has done a couple on UTB blogs, but she was the only one that did her homework. So let's give Erica a thanks. And
thanks, Erica, and you did a good job too.
She did a great job. So when you guys see it, which you'll see it when other things happen, like when Dave does his homework and John does his homework. But when you guys
shut
finally
up! I already
see
saw it.
I'm talking to the viewers. When the viewers see it, hopefully you like it. Something new we have planned, something free. You don't have to donate anything for it.
You don't have to
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. I'm going to hop in my car and go for a drive and visit Brad, I think.
I'll be I'll be running around like a cat running from a bird with that drone flying overhead.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about baseball bats or something. Mr. Angry. Oh well.
It's been a rough week, buddy.
Well, you're not
All
the
right.
only human being on the planet, but whatever. I get it. But anyway, I am looking forward to that. It should be fun. I've already got the idea cooking in my very tiny brain. So
That's awesome, since the idea phase was Monday. So,
I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you. I mean, in a nice way. You know, if there is such a thing.
Now, one thing I'd like to add is the forums. There's been a big increase in the
Good for you,
posts on
Wayne.
the forums, a few new members joining up, which has been fantastic. So everyone keep contributing to the forums. It's becoming a really good place to hang out.
so
Yeah,
glad you said that, Wayno,
Thank you.
because that's something that we needed to talk about.
Yeah,
this
now that
last-
Brad, stop being mad for a sec.
Well, I did
Maybe we
mention
can
it.
get an update on the drive.
Wait.
The drive to the site. What's the update, Brad?
the update is I'm still mad, but no, our membership drive has worked out really well. We've got a handful of the members that were interacting on the channel and the forums, and really active in the forums. And our forums have become, I would say, a good 100% better than they were a week ago, just with a few new members.
Doubling traffic and posts and whatnot.
And just the attitude. It's like we've had a really good crew of people in those forums. I don't want to take anything away from them. They've kept our forums alive. They've given me something to look forward to go and reading every day. And the new people that are in there.
Thank you, Dick Lewis.
Yeah. More than just DL. But no, it's these new people have seemed to breathe some new life in there. We're getting new threads instead of us just continuing our conversations on in old threads. It's been fun, and we want to keep it going. So, as angry as Jesse is, we're going to keep the channel comments closed for a while longer. I'm not going to say how long. I'm not going to say permanent. I'll just say
How long,
indefinitely
Brad?
for now. About 6 inches.
Yeah, that's what she didn't say. Yeah.
So we'll keep going with how we're doing it right now. There may be times that we open comments for something special, and there may just be a day sooner or later where they just open them back up the way they were before. But for right now, we want to get everybody in our forums. Come join us. We're having a blast in there. The new people, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. And
Yeah, some cool questions and comments and new threads and whatnot. It's cool. Good job. Thanks, new people.
so thanks, new people. Thanks, Abby. Thanks,
John Chen.
John Chin. Thanks, Inside Blackberry. Thanks for nothing, Dave.
Yeah. I swear to God, I'm coming, man. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be there in the
That's
morning.
what she said, Dave.
You
That's-
dick.
Okay, guys, should we call it on that?
It better. Yeah, it better. Yeah, this
Good.
is better. I got to get in the car.
All right. We will see y'all next week. I think next week we're going to have Roy back. Hopefully Chap and Rob will be here. We'll see. So we'll see y'all next week.
All right, here's a microwave for you, communication people. See ya.
A microwave.
That's what it is.